Hi, this is Miss DC, and welcome to your video lesson for today. So we're going to talk about number 7, Musette from English Suite number 3 by Bach. This is number 7 in your Suzuki book number 2. And let's talk a little bit about what you see on your page. First thing first, in your key signature you have 1 sharp, which is F sharp. So everything else is natural unless there is an accidental placed next to the note. So on your D string, you're playing 3rd finger. On your A string, you're playing 2nd finger. On your G and your C, which you don't need for this piece, you will be playing 3rd finger if you had notes that low. Let's also talk about what you see next to your key signature, which is your time signature. So you have this time signature. It has looks like a cents sign. It has a C with a line down the middle of it. So that's just indicating that we're in cut time. So we are not counting in 4 like we normally would. We're counting in 2. So it changes how we count the piece and how we count our rhythms. So now the quarter notes are like 8th notes, and our 8th notes are like 16th notes. We count them that way. So when we start, we go 2 and a 1 and a 2 and a 1 and 2 and a 1E and a 2E and a 1, 2 and a 1. So our quarter notes sound like 8th notes. Our 8th notes sound like 16th notes. And our half notes sound like quarter notes, okay? I know it can be tricky. You will get a hang of it as you play this piece. Start this piece not on 3. Remember, we're in 2. We started on 2, okay? So that's 2 and I want you to write that in your music. Underneath that half measure, you're gonna write a 2 underneath the quarter note, and the 2 8th notes you're gonna write and like and then the letter A, okay? So that's how you count this piece. So look at measure 9. We're going into 2nd position, so go ahead and make your indication with a dash. Over the D, you should have a 2, put a dash before the 2, and then you're in 2nd position, put the Roman numeral 2 underneath that D, and indicate if this is a closed 2nd position or an open 2nd position. So is it C sharp D E, or is it C natural D E? Which one is it? Look at your key signature. Okay, hopefully you're noticing by your extensions that you have or your X's that it's an open 2nd position where you're playing C natural D E. Okay, so you're in open 2nd position from measure 9 and into measure 10, and then you need to indicate that you're shifting back to 1st position on the 3rd note in measure 10 on the A with a dash to indicate a shift, and then a Roman numeral 1 underneath the A. Okay, and you're in 1st position all the way until you get to measure 14. Okay, measure 14 on the 3rd note, you're shifting up to 2nd position, so put a dash in front of the 2, and then you're back to your open 2nd position on the A string. And you're only in 2nd position for 3 notes, and then you go back to 4th finger D in 1st position. So you need to indicate that with a dash before the 4. That's the D in measure 14. Okay, and then you're in 1st position until the 1st ending. That's where you shift back up, and that is the same indication, and you can look back up at measure 9 for that indication of how to write that dash 2 over the D, 2nd position mark underneath it, and you're in open 2nd position. So please mark that all in your music. You also have a repeat in this piece that takes you from the end of the 1st ending, which is end of measure 21, and you go back to measure 10. All right, and remember, you skip the 1st ending the 2nd time. There's also one more thing. In measure 13, and you also have this again in measure 17, you have like 2 little railroad tracks. Those are censuras, and when you get to those, you just stop as you would if you've ever been on a school bus and a school bus comes to a railroad track. They stop, they open the doors, they're listening for a train, and then they proceed. So that's what you would do when you get to that censura, okay? It's a little railroad track. You stop, you wait, and then you go on, you proceed. Okay, let's pluck our 2nd position at measure 9. Okay, let's practice that. We're gonna pluck. Put your bow down, okay? So play your B 1st finger. Okay, now shift to D 2nd finger. And then your E is 4th finger. And then kick back to your 1st finger. Okay, let's do that again. Start on 1st finger B, and then you shift to 2nd finger D. Then 4th finger E, and then kick back to your C. And you just keep that hand shape. Okay, so while you're playing measure 10, D, C, you keep that same hand shape. Don't scoot your first finger. Keep it back there. D, C natural, then you shift and you're back to first position. Okay? So let's play it with our bow. This is measure 9. Start up bow, half note B, shift, E, C natural, then D, C natural, shift A. Okay? Now you should do it at that slow tempo several times. I would say at least 5 times. If you do it 5 times right, you have it pretty much in your hand, and then you can go on and add the rhythm. Okay? For the sake of time, we won't do it 5 times. But you could pause the video right now and just do it 5 times and then come back and meet me right here. Okay? So now let's go ahead and add our rhythm. So our rhythm, remember, we're in cut time, so it's 1, 2, and da. Okay? So 1, 2, and da. All right? I'll do it in slow motion. 1, 2, and 1, and all right? So let's do it in slow motion first. Ready, go, and 1, and 2, and 1, and 2. Okay, let's do that again. This is measure 9. Ready, and go, and 1, and 2. Okay, so now you get an idea of how fast your eighth notes should be and how your quarter notes are like eighth notes and your eighth notes are like 16th notes. And we had 16th notes in number 6. So they feel really quick. It just looks different on the page. So now let me demonstrate to you what the censura feels like. Okay, so we're going to start at measure 12. I'll demonstrate that for you. So measure 12. Wait. Okay, so that's what the censura feels like. Or I like to call them the railroad track. All right? So now we're going to play the whole piece. This is number 7 with the repeats. Musette from English Suite number 3. Remember to count. 1, and 2, and ready, go. So that concludes our lesson for today, and I will see you in our next video.